Hi everyone, welcome to There Be Dragons for episode 6. Well, with the party split, Rhylind and Charlie find themselves under assault by an unseen foe in the courtyard of Thunderclap Jack's estate. Let's start this episode off with a roll for initiative.
20.
So 18.
So Jacques actually rolled highest. He's going to bolt and dash across the garden to the other side where there's an alcove where he can hide. And that'll be his turn. Charlie, what are you doing?
Okay, so in the sunroom, because I'm still sort of in the room, pull one of the chairs down, sort of like a cover, and grab Gorgeous and just slide him. Just basically slide him into cover behind the plants and the chairs. Sure. Away from that. So just,
you grab him and he goes, hey, wait a minute, what the?
And then I go, stay there. Like, stay down, we'll sort.
You hear two blades being drawn against each other, like... You see this figure in white spinning in the air, glimmering, with these lights refracting off of like a glass that's inlaid in a white combat tunic. And as she lands poised to attack, you notice that this tunic is designed with sort of like a diamond-shaped glass inlay that runs across the span of her body. She's also wearing a mask. It's an unusually designed peaked mask that sort of covers most of her face except for like her mouth. And it is fastened to her body with like a leather strap at her throat. And from the hood, you can also see like long strips of rigid cloth with small ball-like bells attached to the end that tinkle ever so slightly as she moves. And she raises her hand and throws 2 daggers in your direction.
Rolls.
Okay, so that's a 18. Versus your armor class?
16 plus 2.
So they throw this dagger at you, but rather than it spinning, this seems to be almost like a dart, and it hits you for 2 damage. The other blade that you thought was being sent towards you, it actually wasn't. It was aiming for Jacques, and it manages to catch him in the leg for 3 damage, and Jacques now has a dagger sticking out of his very shapely calf.
Couldn't happen to a nicer chap. Do I get to hit her yet?
Actually, yes, it's your turn.
Fantastic. I'm going to rugby tackle this bitch to the ground.
Okay, that would be a grapple move. Roll me a contested strength check.
Oh, you fucking bullshit. I'm rolling again.
What
That's
did you
total
roll?
crap. I rolled a 2. That is not fair.
What's your bonus?
Plus 3.
Well, I rolled a 1, so you succeed. Just. So they tried to avoid, you collide with them and bring them down.
Yes.
In the clumsiest way possible.
Yeah.
It's like you basically just leapt up and landed on her.
Like, just to be clear, I don't want to kill her.
I don't think he does either. He seems like an honourable dude.
I don't know how the fuck she found us.
And Gorgeous George pokes his head up from behind the couch. What's going on out there? And then sees that Rhylind has tackled this person to the ground. He goes, oh, thank goodness, and gets up.
I need to be like, stay down until I say so.
All right, Chief. And then he sits back down. And that's his turn. Jacques limps inside. Charlie, what are you doing?
I'm going to run over to Rhylind, grab the mask, pull it off.
Okay. You can try it. To do a strength check.
It's a strength. Okay.
Dexterity, surely.
19.
Okay. Immediately blood pools from underneath their throat. You see that the mask, while you have ripped the actual covering away, the leather piece of strapping that was used there had blades on the inside of it and has actually
Did you
sliced
plan that in
their throat.
advance?
Yes.
That's fucked up, man.
There's a reason.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
that if anybody ever takes her helmet off without her permission, she dies.
Oh, good.
It's an odd precaution, but it's a logical one.
Why would you agree to put that on?
Well,
Because she's an
fanatic.
assassin. Like,
Yeah.
She's not exactly the nicest
Is she hot?
person.
She was.
Oh, that's a shame.
So is she dead, or is she just bleeding all over the place?
No, she's dead. You've ripped out her throat, basically.
Oh, for fuck's sake,
not the helmet
Charlie.
off. You took off most of her face when you did that.
Well, it's
Like
cut in
degloving,
deep.
but in
because
the case it's defacing.
So think about what you're doing. You're pulling the front of her mask off and back. As you've done that, I guess we call it
Basically
gorge.
garroted her.
Yeah, effectively you've garroted this person.
is she dead or dying?
Okay, let's be fair. She's dying, but she's suffering from an immediate amount of blood loss from basically having her throat slashed.
Good. I'm going to make a What's your medicine at?
Not good, -1.
-1. Great. Okay. That's one. I rolled a 20. Look at that.
Natural 20.
Natural 20 +1.
All right. Okay. What are you doing to
To
stop
save her from being garroted?
Well, she's obviously had her throat cut,
Yeah.
so I'm going to start stripping bits off her, not inappropriately, of course, man, and start, like, pushing it all, sealing it all up to reduce the blood flow.
Yeah.
Basically just packing her so she's alive and sort of trying to rouse her.
The jugular. That's...
It's pretty bad.
dead?
Yeah, look, she's
dying, but I've gotten myself time.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's what I was sort of playing off there.
Yeah.
Yes, so she's very, very pale and is making a gargling noise.
Yep.
Can she talk?
Probably not. Yeah, so what do you do?
I'm going to ask her, like, what's going on? Who sent you? Why did you do this?
They make a half-hearted attempt to stab you. And it's very, very lazy and, like, not coordinated because the amount of blood she's losing.
I'll go, so be it.
Gargoyle wants her to bond.
She spits blood at you.
I'm just like, you're going to die anyway. You might as well tell us who sent you.
At that, the woman grins and dies.
Well done, Charlie. That was
I'll
very
reach
helpful.
into my pocket and pull out, like, a handkerchief for the blood on your face. And go, I'm so sorry I was a disappointment to you, ma'am.
Snatch the
And
handkerchief
pick
out
up
of my
the,
face. And I'm
like,
just like,
pick up the woman.
Yep.
So I'm going to sort of bring her to where Jacques ran off to.
do I recognise her outfittings?
She looks like she probably belongs in a carnival of some kind.
So nothing about her has any significance to me whatsoever.
No.
Okay, so does she look like she's from a particular place?
Oh, as in, does she look like she's...
Does she look Bashano? Does she look Earhart? Does she look like she's human? Is she even human?
She's human. Like, that's clear. As to where she's from, you wouldn't be able to tell unless she spoke. And she didn't.
She's spat.
Yeah.
Idiot.
So, yes, you carry her inside, and as you get inside, Jack had a number of attendants while you were in here. They're all dead. Killed with daggers like they were.
Is Jacques in there?
Yes, he's actually leaning against a wall and has pulled the knife out of his calf and is in the process of wadding it with some clothing. He looks quite unhappy.
So do you believe me now?
He raises an eyebrow at you. This is no attempt to rig the fight, madame. They just killed my agent and my staff, some of whom have been with me for years. I will mourn them. But if they wanted their fight rigged, they would not try to just kill me.
Well, they've just maimed you quite successfully, I'd say.
He then turns to you, Charlie, and says, with this injury, I am no good. I have to sue for a rematch when I am back at peak performance.
Are you really talking about this?
Absolutely. Don't worry, the fight won't be happening until we get this entirely sorted out and you're back to top form.
Can I start searching the body, please?
Sure.
I roll my
There
eyes
is
and search the body.
You can dump her on the ground.
I will gently place her on, like, a table. But yeah, like, I'll lay her down and if there's one of her daggers, just use it to remove the actual helmet. So if we do try and pull it off, and then leave it to Rhylind while I go see how Jacques doing.
Well, you carefully remove the mask using the daggers, but you find that the source of the blood around the throat, where the gorget that this mask is anchored to, has inside it blades anchored, almost like fish hooks, so that if someone tried to pull the mask off, they would catch and begin tearing the flesh open.
Sick son of a bitch. Yeah, what's she carrying?
What's she carrying? Oh, no, she has a total of 14 of these other knives on her still.
Goodness me. Any markings on them?
No.
Does she have anything apart from weapons?
No, other than the armour she's wearing. It looks like these have been designed to be used in all-purpose sort of situations.
Is she carrying anything that would identify her from a particular place?
No.
How is that possible?
That's how you become a good assassin. You don't carry your ID card with you.
Just that clothing is intrinsically tied to location and culture.
This doesn't look like anything you've ever seen before.
Yeah.
Okay.
She looks like she's escaped from some kind of fairground. Like, it's very unusual.
But it's not garb that... Again, I'm not there, but it's not garb that someone would recognise as being like a particular guild of assassins or anything like that?
No, but then you would have to be using guilds of assassins to know what they dress like as well, because generally if you see an assassin, you're the one that's being killed.
Yeah, or you're contracting somebody else, yeah.
Exactly. So unless you've contracted assassins before...
Yeah, but how the hell would she get around if she looks like... it's not very subtle.
No.
Rooftops.
I would say maybe remember the day that it is. Some kind of festival thing.
Yeah.
It just feels all wrong to me.
The whole thing is...
Yes, people dying feels wrong.
No, I'm not getting assassin from this, apart from the whole killing people thing. Assassins are meant to be discreet, not flamboyant.
Well, she's not a very good assassin if she's dead.
Well, we killed her, so,
Yeah.
Like a one-hit wonder
She
type
was
deal.
really acrobatic. Like, she was
Probably was from the
highly
circus.
trained. It sounds rather like she was from the circus.
then I think we need to take this chick back to Charlie's house.
So, Charlie, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm sort of helping Jacques bandage up his leg.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to say we need to get the authorities in.
I agree.
Look, I'm a criminal, so I'm not cool with being here while you call the cops.
You're more than welcome to leave if you want.
Yeah.
But this, my job, your job, none of our jobs is to investigate murderers and whatnot. We are civilians. They get paid to do this. I punch people. That's what I do.
Fantastic.
George wanders in from the back door and goes, "You left me out there, champ. What's going on? I assume it's safe to come in since I didn't get murdered?" Oh, shit. He just looks around and sees all these dead bodies.
Yes, sorry.
How many different types of knives are there?
Apart from two misery cords, these all look the same.
Okay, can I just gather one of each type?
Sure, are you pulling them out from the corpses?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
2 knives, one of each type.
Anything else you guys want to do?
I'm going to basically, once Jacques is fine, I'm going to carefully open up the door. And is there a guard out the front?
Yes.
I'm going to be like, there's a handful of people murdered in here.
He immediately snaps around and calls in his soldiers who have been standing in front of the well-wishers. At this movement, the crowd has turned from sort of a yay to a what's happening.
All right, I'm going to grab my cloak.
Yep.
Actually, presumably I still have my cloak with me. And I'm going to say, sorry, Charlie, I need to get out of here. Good luck. I want to make my way back to Charlie's house as quickly as possible.
Sure. George looks up at you, Charlie, and goes, "I'm going to get these guys to get you a coach and a guard, and we're going to get you back to your place, and we're going to put you on lockdown." All
The
right?
fight's off at this point. Jacques' been wounded. I've accidentally killed a young lady. Right now, we need to just let this all get sorted how it needs to. I'm not running away anywhere. And then we can head back and have a cup of tea.
Gorgeous George looks around the room at the carnage, at Jacques' injury, and then at you, Charlie, and goes, "Well, I knew you was an upstanding citizen when I met you, so I guess I can't be too surprised, but if this is the way you want to do it, we'll do it your way, Chief."
Scan.
Yeah.
You are wandering the streets.
I am heading back to our hotel.
The Chevalier de Coq.
Yeah. And I am actually going past it. I'm going to the hotel where Dupree was. And going upstairs.
Okay.
Because I'm looking to find him and have a word with him in private.
Okay.
And so I go upstairs. I knock on the door.
There's no answer.
I try the handle.
It's not locked, but it's stiff.
Ooh. So I will force it. I will.
Okay. It opens immediately.
Right. So I have Crush still is on shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I am gesturing for him to be quiet. Mm-hmm. And I opens, without actually entering the door, I opens it from the outside, sort of push it open.
Sure. The room is empty. However, there is an open window with a small breeze coming through that's wafting through some very thin curtains. There is a made bed, which doesn't look like it's been slept in at all. There are a number of chairs arranged around a small table. What looks like the leavings of a meal from last night. There are a number of papers as well. There is also an ensuite bathroom, which looks like it probably needs to be filled by someone rather than having internal plumbing.
Yeah.
There is a chest towards the
right-hand side of the room near the window. Other than that, the place seems empty.
So I will go over and have a look at the first the window that is open and investigate that more closely. It's like looking to see if somebody has exited through there.
Roll me an investigation check.
8. Not
What's
so
your
great.
passive perception?
Oh, +5, so 15.
15. Okay, so equals beats. You hear a footfall behind you.
But if I'm hearing it behind me, I turn, drawing my weapon.
As you turn, you see a masked individual in white with what looks like diamond pieces of glass sewn into a combat tunic, wearing a mask that comes down covering their nose. And you hear the slight tinkle of a bell as they suddenly back off, lowering a long pointed dagger that they had aloft.
Put a hand to their mouth in a shushing motion, and then they just walk slowly backwards through the open door and then close it behind them. This person had a dagger ready to basically drive into the back of your neck.
How did he creep up on you if he jingles?
Good question.
Sorceress.
For those watching at home, I just squinted my eyes at Matt.
I rush to the door and open it.
Yeah.
Presumably this person is gone.
Yes.
Right. So do I see anything on the window? Like,
It looks
I closed the door and was like, well, that was weird.
yeah.
Not knowing what else is going on. Look at the dragon. It's like, where are your ears on that one?
It looks you nonplussed. Yeah.
It's like a little bit more very, sir. We are being secretive and stealthy right now. Jeez. Looks for the window. What is going on there?
It looks like it was forced or pried open from the outside. There's a small notch in the wood. It was probably where this
Entered through.
Yeah.
So that is interesting. So given that the assassin appears to have no interest in killing me, then I will shrug. It is interesting that Dupree is gone, so I will be looking through the papers now.
Okay. You find a map that seems to detail the Bachano quarter, or half of the city. There are a number of symbols on the page. Among them are a number of different sort of iconographs, so pictures of things. You see what appears to be like a portcullis with a lightning bolt through it. You see a collection of 3 barrels, a trident. You see a circle with a bisected line through it. They're all placed what appears to be strategically around the city. So to give you an idea, the portcullis is over the portcullis exit, which leads east from the city. Where the trebuchet and the fortress is, there's a collection of barrels. In the slums is this circle with a line through it. You see a bird in flight near the bridge and a collection of other symbols which look like different variations of the things they represent. So there's like a boat, but the boat has, a lightning bolt through it, and then there's other things happening. So it looks like a plan or a representative of something. You also find a number of missives that clearly have been written by Dupree. It's in a very flowing, flowery handwriting. Most of it is gibberish or doesn't make sense. It's things like orders for pounds of flour and I'll see you at Auntie May's next week. All very clearly code.
Yeah.
But what they are and what they mean probably escape you unless you want to spend hours upon hours upon hours trying to decode it. You also find what appears to be a ledger, which is to say a piece of paper with a number of amounts on it. And you have, it's like a credit-debit column. And these are really large amounts. We're talking like thousands of ducats and just
I knew he was a cheap motherfucker.
different amounts, but it all tallies up into a negative.
Yeah.
And it seems to be about negative 9,000. Quite a lot of ducats in
Yeah.
negatives.
I was going to look at the chest.
Sure.
Is it openable? Can I?
Yeah. It's not even going to lock on it.
What is it?
It's clothes. Roll me an investigate check.
13 plus 14.
14? Yeah.
I'm also not wanting to advertise my presence overly well. However, I will look up underneath it.
Sure.
Just sort of lift it up to see if it's heavier than it looks like it should be, or if there is. I would try to measure if there is a false bottom.
There does appear to be a false bottom.
Okay. So I will now look for the mechanism, sort of like I'm aware that there must be one, so now I'm looking more closely for a mechanism.
Sure. Roll me a sleight of hand.
+3.
Yep.
11.
That's enough, though. You discover that the corners of each side of this bottom appear to have like a semicircle on it that if you depress it and then twist it slightly, it actually pops the thing out, and just in the bottom, small ingots of gold.
Yeah, lovely. I'll take them out and pocket them.
Sure. Yeah,
So I will replace the lid on this. I will put everything back as I found it with the chest.
Sure. No worries. Write down 3 ingots of gold.
Yeah. And I will take the papers. The map would be a good idea to take anyway, really. It's hard to... I'm wanting to be fast. Copying a map would take a while, even if I had paper. Also, there might be papers in the room. Is there, like, anything I could use to copy it?
Not that you see.
No, all right. Well, I'll just take them then. I leave.
All right. Having stowed away all your ill-gotten gains, you close the door quietly behind you and step down into the street.
Nezor and Abella. Nezor, you're sleeping.
I have opened and closed every drawer in this place.
And found nothing.
I am very bored.
Yep.
Still not sure if the dog is friendly.
He's still barking, by the way. She is still
Oh,
barking.
puppy. I've started talking with the dog in order to alleviate my boredom.
Probably more talking to the dog.
Yeah. No, with. You know, I've always found your kind to be quite ugly, but you have quite a nice personality. I'm assuming you do more than bark and whine. Do you? That's what I thought. Are you Charlie's dog? Like, do you just hang around him? Did he rescue you? Did he buy you from a breeder? These are the questions that I have to know.
While you're doing that,
It's just me. This is what I do in my spare time.
Nezor, what's your passive perception?
11.
Okay.
Like, does passive perception is it still the same even though I'm sleeping? I would have thought sleeping dropped it a little. But
No, see, because what passive perception means is that this is your capacity to notice.
Yeah.
So it would be like if someone was, say, for instance, creeping past you while you slept, you would notice that they're there.
Is that what happens?
Actually, it is.
Okay.
You hear very soft footfalls.
Yep.
Just moving past you, and you feel like a shape is hovering over you, but again, you're sort of zoned out,
Yeah.
and then it retracts and moves away.
Okay. I guess it's woken me up then enough that I'm not totally there, but I'm awake.
You're doing that thing where the one eye comes open and you're like,
Yeah.
look around.
So I guess I'll
Yeah, well, if that's what you're doing.
like I would look around. Like I want to say I look around cautiously, but I would just look
So
around.
you very surreptitiously go and look around with your one eye, which I'm assuming you're sleeping face down.
Yeah, kind of into the couch.
You see a figure in white padding softly across the room towards the staircase.
Yep.
You notice through your blurry eyes that they are wearing a strange and ornate kind of garb. They've got like what looks like pieces of glass sort of stitched into the clothing.
Yep.
It does look like a combat-oriented sort of garb, though. And what's really interesting is that they have a number of pieces of what look like rag running back from the back of their head to bells
Yep.
that are attached to it. But the bells aren't making noise as this person's moving, and the actual cloth itself looks very rigid.
Okay. Can I do a religion check?
Sure.
What's that?
I'm assuming this is to figure out if your religion tells you anything about these people.
Yeah, or anything that I realise is this religious in any way. So 15 plus 3, 18.
Certainly ceremonial. Even though it's ornate and has this strange affectation, it strikes you as being something that is very martial.
Okay. And
Very-
so how tall are they?
Person sized. Well, large people sized.
Large people size, okay.
Taller than you.
I'm gonna wake up as best I can and without letting them know I'm awake.
Oh, okay.
So that I am fully ready, and I'm assuming at that point they'd be up the stairs.
They're moving towards the stairs at this point.
Towards the stairs, and they're not at the
roll me a
stairs yet.
stealth check.
14.
14. They stop and look over towards you, straight at you. And this is actually a rather slight-looking woman.
Okay. Where is Abella in relation to...
Bella's talking to the dog. You can still hear the dog yapping and
Yeah.
Abella chatting upstairs.
I mean, how far away is this assassin from me?
About 10 foot.
Okay.
So,
I'm gonna cast Charm Person on this assassin.
all right.
Yes, I pull out my guitar and cast Charm Person. It's within 30 feet of me. It has to make a Wisdom saving throw.
All right. What's your save DC?
13.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
What happens?
It stops
Yep.
and notices the guitar string. There's a moment, and you're not sure if she's going to attack you or not. But then she smiles at you. You have successfully charmed this assassin. She rolled really bad.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, it's you. Hi. I'm here to kill Gorgeous George.
Cool.
How are you?
I'm good.
You're feeling all right?
Yeah, no, I'm doing...
I noticed you were asleep and you're about the right size, so I was going to stick a knife in you, but I realised you weren't.
Yeah, no, he is kind of small.
Yeah, he is. Well, I have to keep looking through the house, but it's good to see you.
That's cool, yeah. I can help you if you like.
Oh, that won't be necessary.
You sure? You
Yeah,
done this before?
Many times.
Many times, yeah.
Many times. You just go back to sleep. I'll be in and out. You won't even notice me. And then she puts her finger to her mouth in a shh motion and then continues up the stairs.
Yeah. I guess I'm just going to follow.
If you're going to follow me, you need to be far quieter than what you are right now. See how I move and I don't make any noise? Yeah, I need you to do that same thing, or I need you to stay here.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
She continues up the stairs, and Angela, you see what looks like a court jester walking up the staircase, and Nezor's next to him.
Question, would I recognise this as any kind of criminal pattern of behaviour or any kind of famous...
Oh, that's a good point. You do have criminal ties, don't you?
Yes.
Throw me some skills you think might be applicable, given your background.
Well, I'd probably see... Yeah, I'd probably roll a history to see if I remember.
Go ahead. See if you know anything.
20.
20 total or crit on the dice?
19 and then +1.
Okay. You've seen these people before, and they effectively are really heavy hitter assassins. They are very rarely contracted by anyone you've had direct dealings with. This is the sort of person, like, for instance, you would call on to kill a crime boss. And the only reason you know about this is because you encountered them once before talking to your erstwhile mentor. But the actual name of what they are, you just know them by reputation. You don't know what they're called.
Begs the question why they needed such an elite assassin to kill someone like Gorgeous George.
I look across.
Yeah, but they notice that you see them, and they just finger to the mouth.
Okay, we're not. Okay, I'm just
Then they pull a misericord out of their sleeve and point at the door to the left of you.
I'm just behind there, so I gesture, kind of play along. Like that, and the hand.
Do you want me to open them, or I don't think there's a dog behind one of them. I don't know if it's friendly though. I suppose that's not a problem for you. But
The person in the mask is just staring at you nonplussed. It's sort of just the blade has gone to a neutral position. Is making a gesture of the fuck.
That's just Abella for you. Just ignore.
They roll their eyes and then look at you thank you for speaking aloud. Great. And they kick the first door in.
Oh, okay.
Look into the room.
So we're not being quiet.
No. Immediately snaps around, kicks the other door in, and then proceeds to the room behind you and makes a out the way gesture.
I'll get out one.
The assassin kicks in the door, and as she does so, Duchess comes flying out of nowhere and just starts savaging her ankle. The assassin makes a brief noise and goes to deal with the dog with her knife.
Is there any kind of collar around the bulldog's neck?
Totally.
Yes, there is. I'm getting the nod from the owner of the bulldog. There is a collar.
Cool. I'm going to rush in, grab the collar and try to throw the bulldog back into the room and shut the door.
The assassin seems nonplussed about the entire experience, then checks the remaining door. Having checked all the rooms, she then turns to the two of you, knife out.
Sighs and goes, "It appears my business is elsewhere," and turns and goes to leave.
Wait, you say business? I'm assuming this isn't personal then?
Nezor.
Nothing's ever personal with us.
We're
Nezor.
cool. We're cool.
Okay.
We're cool.
Okay.
Like, with us? Like, not... There's more of you?
Yes.
Cool. Business means possibly hired?
Of course. However, you know that I can't talk about my contract.
That's cool. Like, I don't want to know the...
You know that. Yeah, Nezor, let the poor lady go.
That's cool.
You know, I'd have to kill you.
Yeah, no, that's all good.
Nezor.
Like, I totally get that. You've got my respect. Like, did
Why
you...
do they want to kill gorgeous George?
Did,
Frantically not asking because I'm not there.
I can't ask her anything that'll make her...
Yeah, don't ask her
Trip
anything
up
that will make
and
her want to kill me.
Yeah, exactly.
You're fine.
Yeah, no, I
Don't
get
even know
this.
if you're fine.
The assassin's is like, so I'm going to go.
You don't want to drink or anything?
I don't drink on the job.
I
Thank
don't
you
drink
very
on the
kindly for the
job,
offer.
Nezor.
I'll be seeing you. And she walks down the stairs very softly.
Okay. I was mostly trying to stall in the hope that someone else would show up, but...
Do I show up? Am I there yet?
This is all simultaneous.
Yeah.
Why would the assassin be looking for gorgeous George at DuPont's room?
Well, I don't necessarily think they would. I think DuPont is another target on the list.
But then that means he didn't hire them.
No.
But you don't know that yet.
Then who the fuck did?
In the meantime, so has our assassin left yet?
Yeah.
Nezor, what the fuck was that?
So remember Jasper and I
Yeah.
played the tune on my guitar.
Yeah.
I did the same
Oh.
thing to them because I was slightly worried
Okay.
they were here for you.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
And yeah, so
But I would leave. In fact,
I know,
I think we should both, time to...
my experience with this is we have a time period, but we head back to the hotel. Everyone else will come back, I believe, at some point, and we can sort out what the fuck just happened.
Okay, good. Yes, let's do that. Let's leave.
Rhylind, you are pelting through the streets and make your way to, I assume, you're heading straight back to Charlie's apartment?
Yeah.
There's no one there when you arrive.
Well, shit, balls, and cock whistle. That's horribly suspicious. Hello, Duchess. Please don't chew my ankle. Right, to the Chevy du Coq.
Do you say to no one in particular?
I'm ready.
Come, Duchess!
Do you take the dog or?
No, I'm not gonna steal Charlie's dog.
Okay, like everyone else, you head off to the Chevalier. Mr. Roughhouse, you have been waiting quite a while for someone to arrive from the City Watch.
The guard have summoned captain or someone of rank, who immediately sweeps into the room. She's a very tall and lithe elf, wearing very, very official-looking robes, and is in full plate armor. One thing that's really distinct about her, though, is one of her ears is covered by a silver affectation, like it's covering the point of her ear and clasping around it. She's also got a very large scar that runs from that ear down to her mouth, a bit like a burn mark as well. She's all business.
Age?
Probably the equivalent of mid to late 30s. She's wearing one of the ornate cloaks I mentioned before, the green and gold. Immediately hits the clasps and drops them off and then throws them onto a corpse. She didn't mean to throw it on the corpse, but the corpse happened to be there. It's just that would be where the cloth hook was. Seems a little bit miffed and
So
ignores
she
it.
doesn't care where it goes, and then
Yeah.
actually I do it a little bit.
Just a tad. So what has happened here? I've been summoned from my luncheon. Anyone care to explain?
We were attacked by assassins.
And she sighs and quizzically raises an eyebrow, looks over at Jacques, who is still bandaged, and seems actually more concerned about the fact that he's being injured than anything that's happened in this room.
Thunderclap Jacques, your injury. Will this mean a postponement of the fight?
Jacques just waves his hand and replies, "My manager has been slaughtered. I would very much like not to be here."
She then turns to you, Charlie, and goes, Of course, my apologies. This is of course terrible. You have my full apology on behalf of the Bachelor Republic. This is unacceptable. Your safety has been guaranteed. Please accept my apologies in an official capacity. And perhaps someone could tell me what has happened here and why there is a woman dressed purely in white that looks like she escaped from some kind of circus.
I would imagine she was the one that murdered, the people here. I wouldn't know if there's more.
She sighs and sort of like puts a hand to her head and goes, "That is a troubling thought. But thankfully, this seems to be a fairly open and shut case. Many people were murdered, but the killer was brought to justice in a final and brutal manner. You have my thanks for that. But where are my manners? I have not introduced myself. I am Guard Captain Amélie of the Oremian Watch."
Joey Roughhouse.
She extends her hand like a lady would.
Yep.
And
And just take it, sort of do a bit of a bow, and
at this point, George gets up from the little seat he was in and goes, "You're damn right. Look at this place. It's been a damn slaughter. You expect me to keep the champ here? We're going to go back to our side of the quarter, and you'll be lucky to see him again."
I'm just going to sort of put a hand on George's and just, right now, this isn't about the fight.
You're damn right it's not about the fight. It's about your personal security. Are you kidding me with this? Look at this. Look.
And nobody in this room is to be blamed for this. We can't...
Well, I think the broad who slaughtered them is probably to blame, don't you?
Well, then feel free to yell at her and not the woman trying to do her job. Is there anywhere I can get in contact with you, or somebody who can get in contact with you if something does arise?
But of course, you need only go to the watch headquarters. You simply go to the large fortress on the hill with the trebuchet.
Ah, yes. Beautiful building.
Well, other than that, Jacques, will you please take my hand? I must see that you are given medical attention. And you, monsieur, I will provide to you a safe carriage ride back to your quarters.
Before they leave, I'm going to say to Jacques, you get better and I'll get in contact with you at some point about how we let the public know that the fight's not happening.
It sounds good to me, Mr. Roughhouse.
Stay safe as they leave.
The crowd outside immediately cheers as that's like, yeah! Being quite excited. Shortly after, you're roused by one of the sentries outside and offered into another carriage, and I assume driven back to...
Yep, to my house.
When you arrive, Gorgeous George goes, "Yeah, well, this has been great and all, champ. Going with you, meeting Jack, watching a bunch of people get killed, watching Jack get stabbed. I'm going to go back to my place, and we're going to get my gear, and then all the promotion stuff, and most importantly, all the money, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. Meet me as soon as you can. Okay, and be safe. I know you're a big guy and you got lots of muscles and you could take down pretty much a bull if it was charging at your full pace, but be careful. These suckers got knives. I know how to use them, all right? And I'm gonna borrow one of your guards. You there, get in the goddamn carriage." And on that note, Gorgeous George disappears off in a cloud of dust as the carriage pulls away. You go inside your house, finding that the door is unlocked. And slightly ajar as though someone had left in a hurry. And upon a cursory inspection, you discover that all the doors upstairs have been kicked in.
And there's an angry dog.
And Duchess is quite perturbed.
Vexed, you might say.
Vexed.
I'll walk in, walk upstairs to
What
Duchess.
a day. Oh, Jesus!
Walk upstairs, doors kicked in, scoop up Duchess, not say anything, walk down and put on, start hitting up the kettle.
Scan. I assume you're making your way back to Charlie's place.
Yeah, I'm going back to Charlie's.
You walk in and hear the kettle whistling.
Hello?
Oh, Scan, come in, tea.
Ja, danke. Wer is mein Friends?
I have no idea. I came in, the doors up the top were all kicked off their hinges, and my dog had been upset. So
Das ist nicht so gut. Hey, Dutch, it's nice to see.
I should point at this stage that Krosh is on all fours and doing the equivalent of a cat hiss.
Arching his back,
Yeah.
tail in the air. That's the Duchess.
Yeah.
Nine choice.
I'll split up some of the cold meats that I have and sort of offer them to
arm crossed, like...
Yeah, he's somewhat particular. Don't take it personally. So how did your meeting with Jack go? How was that?
Oh, yes, wonderful. They murdered 6 people.
Who did?
I don't know, some woman in a white get-up stuck a blade through his manager's heart, tried to kill mine and 6 other men.
Would you come with me to our lodgings? Possibly.
Certainly, if there's anything else that needs that you know.
This concerns me, and I think it is far larger than what you experienced.
Yes, just...
Do you want to grab your tea?
You three, Rhylind, Abella, and Nezor, all meet up and I assume discuss what's been happening.
I said fuck a few times.
You are in the pit where the rather intoxicated gentleman is still turning the chicken bit. It almost seems like he never leaves.
The same chicken. It's just like a shriveled prune.
Skairn and Charlie arrive.
I walk in and go, oh, good, you're safe.
Has it been that kind of day for you as well?
We have had a day, let us say.
Has he brought Duchess?
Oh,
I
yes.
have wondered that as well, like a Duchess under arms.
Yes. Like,
Duchess is currently trying to get to the chicken.
Can I pat her?
of course.
Oddly, Abella's feelings mirror Angela's own.
I will pat the dog.
So apparently, Rhylind, there was some sort of unpleasantness.
Yes. I tackled a knife-throwing bitch to the ground. She died before she... Well, she was dying and then she refused to say anything and then she died anyway, so...
Yes, I heard about this. And you two.
He left out the bit where I spear-tackled her to the ground like a boss, so...
He always does.
I most definitely
No, I
didn't.
can see you do that.
Thank you. It was very impressive.
It sounds great to me. And these two, what happened to you? Why was the doors destroyed when...
Yeah, that was an, Yeah, Nezor, why were the door destroyed?
I
shed light.
I woke up to one of these.
Let me guess. Tall, fairly androgynous looking with the bells and white mainly, but with little bits of glass, lots of knives. And a
only
shushing
saw
gesture.
Only saw the.
That seems to be ubiquitous throughout all of
No, I did get that. I did get... Well, I think you killed him.
Tried to.
We only saw the one knife, but I was, when someone wakes you up, you're slightly worried and they're sneaking around. So I did my thing, my magic, and charmed them.
Oh, I thought you were going to mage hand her in some way. It seems to be your thing.
Tempting. But so we
Threw a chicken wing at her.
We needed them. Didn't want Abella to be attacked, so we turned them to our friendliness.
Oh, charming them, yeah.
And they were there for George. Didn't tell them that George wasn't there because we wanted
That
them
was good.
to
Well done, good thinking.
not kill us.
But they wanted to kill George.
That's what they said.
Very clearly. Oh, and they were the one that kicked down all your doors.
They went looking and they
I told them there's no
Totally
one
wasn't me.
Totally you not robbing the place blind. Or trying to and finding nothing about
Also,
it.
if you see anything that's been like ruffled around,
That was them, not me.
I think I saw them kind of pouring through some of your stuff. So,
Oh, before or after they were there to murder a single person?
I'm not too sure. Nezor, was it before or after? No. They did get attacked by Duchess. Good dog. Good dog, Duchess. She's so clever.
So, that is interesting because you say the manager was killed.
Yes, and a dagger was thrown
at
George, but
Yeah.
also at Jacques. They wounded Jacques.
They did?
You're the only person she didn't try to attack.
She didn't really get the option after being spear tackled by
She
you.
prioritised the rest of us.
I may have some
Well, I'm
information-
guessing
I may
maybe
have
some by Dupree.
By
I may have some information to add to this general picture. I paid a visit to our friend Dupree.
Oh, good.
who is?
That was-
I'm sorry. Who is this Dupree?
He hired us for our last job. He was the one that brings us to the city as part of the payment for the last jobs that we did. And
Would I know the name Dupont, like Dupree Dupont?
You know of the DuPont family. They were recently lifted the peerage, which is not a common thing.
Yeah.
and he nobody there. Well, I say nobody.
You sure you got the right
no
room?
DuPont. Yeah, pretty sure. It was the biggest one in the place.
Oh, yeah, that'd be him.
Yeah. And not only DuPont, but there was a window that appeared to be forced, and then I turned around. Thank you for not telling me about this person, small dragon. There was I could only describe them as a purely white jester standing behind me with a knife drawn, finger to the lips, backs out the room, leaves. This is the man who told us to rig the fight.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I was about to ask you. So,
Right. So you have what we have. The information, as far as I can tell, is the two fight organizers aren't a man who wants to rig the fight, all being targeted by an assassin's guild, because it's not one assassin, particularly as they died. Good job.
let's not celebrate the
Did you
death.
kill him? Nice.
Technically,
Let's not
Charlie killed her.
celebrate the death.
I mean, normally I
Not
would.
No, I'm
Celebrating?
not celebrating, trust me.
Sorry, no, we're not celebrating that, obviously. However, this is still, it is more than two. It sounds like three. I feel this
Possibly
is
more.
quite probably more. Do you?
Well, I wouldn't say that I know them by name, but what I could tell you is these people aren't your everyday assassins.
Yeah.
They're not the kind of people you get to, I don't know, knock off someone who's... They're not someone you get to get rid of normal people.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse the rudeness, but who are you people?
Oh, I'm Abella.
Yes, I know you're Abella.
We are.
I just play guitar.
In fairness to him, he does only play guitar.
He's very good at it. Do you like jazz?
I've heard his music. It's wonderful.
Progressive jazz.
At the right time.
My thing. Yeah,
Usually
I agree with
3 o'clock in the morning isn't.
Charlie, we would. So we are finding ourselves in this situation, trying to make heads or tails.
Okay, well,
You want to know where the fucker is? I think he's got an appointment with my axe.
9-9. My harpoon has precedence.
I'm not saying... I'm going to go ahead and think I don't think DuPont is the one to kill to solve this problem.
9-9. He's
It's
just
not like
one.
you said anything about killing him.
I think we should fill our bellies before we talk of unpleasantness. Enough
Yes.
people have died for the day.
One is being led by their furry friend. Oh, this is not a bad idea.
Didn't say I was going to kill him.
Excuse me, miss, we'd like some chicken and some drinks.
Which lady? Rose?
Yes, sure.
She turns around at the excuse me, lady, and turns around and just kind of goes,
Sorry, Nezor.
Yeah, I think you're out, buddy. Should have taken
Should
the
have gone
breakfast
in
deal.
there when you had the chance.
And I'll
He
be
wouldn't
like,
do anything anyway.
I'll sort of turn to the group and go, dude. So we'll get 4...
Just
Yeah, I know. He knows. So we'll get 5 chickens and...
Balls of chicken bits.
5 chickens, and I'll get your finest bottle of wine and your finest bottle of rum and a pot of tea.
He's good.
Here's 3. You keep the change.
"Oh, thank you, monsieur. I have to say, I wish you luck in the fight."
everyone, all of us are just like,
Goodness me, that was a hot piece of chicken. Right?
And then I'll sit down and go, okay, dinner's sorted. Charlie won't bring it up during eating. So, but he's like, well, if there's evidence that there's more than one and there's been multiple attacks or attempts of attacks, then I'm bringing it up with the authorities. I'm happy to leave your names out of it.
Please do.
Please leave mine particularly.
But the authorities have already said if anything further comes up to bring it forward.
So
and
what did
I
the authorities say? You say you spoke to authorities who?
Captain Amelie came down. She said from the evidence that was presented at that room, which was a bunch of dead bodies and a dead assassin, it was open and close.
Unfortunately, this is not.
But from their point of view, it is. I now have extra information of other assassins attempting to kill. I've got, Gorgeous George, confirmed. And they were in this Mr. DuPont's...
Fairly good evidence to suggest DuPont as well. His
Sir.
room had been forced. They had come in through the window. It was nicely done, but it was definitely forced. Some things have been stolen by the looks of it.
How convenient for you.
Oh, yeah.
But either way...
So I may have other things to share,
but yes,
but I don't want to do it in a public forum.
So either way, I plan to head to the big trebuchet building later after we finished eating, and inform them of what else is going on.
Yeah.
Question. The assassin that attacked you, you said she threw a dagger at, what's his face, the other fighting guy?
At Jacques?
Jacques.
Correct.
But didn't kill him.
Nope, it went
Was-
into his leg.
That intentional, I wonder.
I would imagine so. If someone can throw a blade between someone's ribs, I would imagine that.
So my question is, why would they want to
They
get
didn't
rid
want
of...
the fight to start.
Or they were rigging the fight. Manager's
They weren't
dead.
rigging it. They were wanting it to not happen.
We
You
don't know
kill
that.
the organizers and you wound but not kill one of the fighters.
If you don't want it to happen, couldn't you just kill the fighters?
Yeah, but you
also
want it to
someone-
happen eventually, just not now.
But also Dupree. That's the other strange thing.
Well, he's
why
the
would
one
someone...
who wants to rig.
But why would
this
someone
fight.
come after Dupree as well?
They could.
I have no idea, but considering what I've been told is the fight is being rigged in my favour,
Yeah.
it wouldn't favour them to wound me. Is
That's
my
if
best
this
guess.
is still about rigging a fight.
This is my major problem, because if it was about rigging the fight, then...
I feel something larger is on this
Yeah.
going. Sebastian and Erhard are not the friendliest of nations.
No.
Particularly
I'm amazed we get on so
I know,
well.
it's great.
Particularly it's the relations in this city particularly.
Possibly because they were really dickish to me.
One could assume that a fight happening one way or t'other would not end well for either side. It depended on if one person wins, the outcome one way or the other is not good. You know, an Erhard guy wins, then the Erhards go yay, the Bashanel go angry and fighting. If a Bashanel person wins, then the Bashanel get very angry on the Erhard and there's fighting still. You don't want the fight to happen. It's not so much they don't want the fight to happen.
So these are noble assassins.
Well...
What do you
Well,
know about
Charlie,
these
what
people?
happened when he, no offense, beat you last time? What was the atmosphere like
When you had
afterwards?
this bout.
I was unknown at the point. I was undefeated in my circuit, but this was the big leagues. So there wasn't I wasn't expected to win. It was a surprise for me, but there wasn't tables being flipped. It was I was the new guy coming in, and Jacques beat me fairly.
Please may we, when we are finished, we will retire upstairs or to Charlie's house. I have other things to show.
I'd prefer not to go back to Charlie's house.
Yeah, I
It's the only
say
place
Why,
they know
oh.
where I was.
Yeah, that assassin's going to know he's been charmed.
Wait. What happened else?
Nothing else happened. They just left, and after they leave, they no longer like me.
You
Okay.
did that
doesn't
charm
last-
thing, and when it wears off, they remember
Yeah,
that he
you said-
charmed
yeah.
them. So there's an assassin out there that's going to be really pissed
Oh, now
off.
probably knows that. Okay.
I'd prefer them
so
not
we will
to
be
know
staying
me.
here. All right.
And
so
he
come-
just raised his eyebrows and rolled a dice, so we're all fucked.
And also he's been quietly
I'm
giggling.
actually just really enjoying the fact that you guys are piecing together whatever you can from the information that's been offered, and it's great.
I was pretty much going to say, either way, this isn't my job. I punch people. So even if I do figure it all out, what am I going to do? Or any of us?
As a man of honor, though, do you not wish to know the cause of the
Certainly.
person whose life you ended?
Certainly, but I'm not about to then find the Guild of Assassins and punch them one by one.
But also...
I
That's such a
suppose my
beautiful
quest-
mental
I
image,
suppose
though.
my question is, do we care?
I mean, I
You
can't-
have a scratch on your shoulder.
It wouldn't have been a scratch if I hadn't had my shield.
Yeah, the thing is, this is something we're involved in now. The people who are after this probably know that we had something to do with Dupree, and they probably know that now we've had something to do with both Charlie and, in a limited way, Jacques.
Not so
I'm
much.
thinking
And
this kind
Nezor.
of does in... Oh, yeah, and they're probably going to come after Nezor, so if you find him
gonna be
dead, that's
fun.
we kind of know what's happened to him.
if they
and
were-
possibly me as well.
If they were concerned about you, though, wouldn't they have just killed you when they first
Oh,
come
no,
by?
this
you?
charmed.
He
He
was
was charmed.
It's a magic
Yes,
spell. It
but-
makes them like people.
Did you charm yours?
9.
But if they were aware of your involvement with Dupree, then you probably
It would have been
died.
at least an attempt. I was armed and facing them.
Yes, but
I am not an informidable person.
I'm not
Roll an
saying so,
insight.
but there was also
Roll an insight.
there was also 2, prize fighters that didn't stop that assassin.
It suddenly dawns on you that the reason they probably went to kill you was the fact that you, like Dupree, are half-elf.
It occurs to me I am easily mistaken for Dupree, and I was in Dupree's rooms.
Well, this is the question. Do they want to kill
okay,
anyone
so
that want to
I
make the
have-
fight happen, or do they want to kill Dupree?
Can we, please, retire to a room that is not a public one?
Okay.
And after finishing your meal, you do retire to Skairn's room, closing the door carefully behind you. You are now alone.
I signal to Hrosh. I indicate.
I am now patting Doust.
I indicate one of the bedposts that he liked to perch on. Someone's like, opposite.
He does so and proceeds to scratch it and ruin the fucking wood.
Good boy. So I paid a visit to our dear friend Dupree earlier today. So I found it's a room very clean, bed not slept in. Dinner remains from the previous evening on the window open. I later realized that this is probably the egress point of the white jester person, as she rounded on me as I came in. And also, I believe, was holding the door handle closed when I tried to enter in the first place. I applied a small amount of pressure and she let me, and then tried to kill me when I believe, being a half-elf as Dupree is, she may have suspected me for him, but this is neither here nor there. So, on the table, I found many different pieces of parchment, one of whom was a ledger. This one, I will produce it and show people. It shows him to be around about 9,000 ducats in debt.
Ooh.
This man was stingy when he was, not stingy, he didn't have any money in the first place. Then sent letters.
The letters are variants on like different orders for things like I would like 100 pounds of flour, things like, I look forward to seeing Auntie May in the spring. They're all innocuous in of themselves, but being together, they're very suspicious because these are most likely in code.
Can we all have a look and see if we can
Certainly.
make sense of it? What would that be?
I reckon just do an intelligence check.
Maybe like if
Am I doing one as well?
Anyone who wants to have a shot can.
I got 17.
Bella might get advantage
Got a
because she's
3.
got that history in it. Like,
7, 10,
17.
17.
I got nothing.
So 18.
4.
These,
I'm not very intelligent.
if there is a cipher, it's beyond you. There is no information you can gather from this.
My feeling is very much this is a letter that is a pre-agreed code between the person who wrote it and the person who receives it. It's not so much a code as when you receive a letter from me saying exactly this phrase, do the thing. But interesting nonetheless. And third item, a map.
Yes, so the map that Scan produces is rather detailed, and it details primarily the Bashano side of the Ore, which has a number of sigils in place around on the map.
Can I check if I've seen that symbol before? 'Cause I
We
feel
have.
like I have.
Well,
No one else here except
Nezor has.
Nezor, can you actually? You don't even need to roll for this. You immediately recognize these symbols. You recognize the swallow, the circle with a line through it, and the trident. You saw them very recently on the cargo in the hold of the Joy. During your journey, you found that when you weren't performing for the crew, you were just getting caught underfoot. So as a result, you spent most of your time below deck, and curiosity being what curiosity is. After a while, you decided to pick through the cargo that they were transporting and discovered that Captain Ironsides is not the upstanding merchant sailor he would have you believe. He was in fact a weapons smuggler transporting quite a lot of weapons. So much so that you pilfered a pistol and some black powder and a bit of shot out of the contraband consignment. That particular weapon was found concealed within an oilskin in a barrel of water. But the salient point that you need to take away from this is those crates that contained these weapons had these symbols on it. And now these symbols have appeared on a map of the city.
So
the three of these, the swallow, the line, circle, and the trident, were all on the ship. I can't...
On the ship?
The ship we came in?
Yeah.
The stuff that we went and got.
Oh, the cargo.
The cargo that we had a look in and took some of. I can't say what was in what, but all the weapons and everything that were definitely trying to be hidden were in one of these symbols. So whether this is him delivering something or...
You don't think maybe he's arming an uprising?
This is only the Bashano side. The map only details the Bashano side of the river. He is arming the Bashanos.
If he's
Or
army.
he's...
Or the fight is a reason to get a whole lot of Urhat people onto the Bashano side.
Also,
That's a good thought.
And they were
Also-
going to move the fight to the bridge, which would have fucked it up.
also to tie it into maybe the assassins, the only ones that were hurt. I mean, your assistant was aimed at, yes,
Manager.
manager, but
The
The main
man
casualties
who
were-
came to your house was looking for George.
the main casualties were Bashano.
But Nezor said that the assassin said they were there to kill George.
But George isn't liked, and they did throw a knife
Well,
at.
I'd kill George in a
Jax.
heartbeat, but
Jack.
Jack.
They threw.
George is a genuinely upstanding man. You may he may be a bit rough around
For the
the edges.
people playing at home, I just gave him the largest one eyebrow up I could manage.
I've known this man nearly my whole fighting career. So
Oh.
for him to be around,
I take that back. I do apologize.
yes, don't judge people by their
My point
appearance.
that I was getting.
Doesn't do you well, especially for people
Yep.
like
My own
yourselves.
self.
My point that I was getting at was that Jax was harmed and you were not, and if I was Bashano, that might. If I was
Which you
on,
are.
yes, which that's not the point. If I was a Bashano person in this kind of circumstance, that might get me a bit annoyed. I'm just trying to make links here.
sure.
Just trying to make links.
From what I can see, weapons on a ship, a detailed map of the enemy-controlled area, and markings which seem to be locating drop-offs for said weapons. He's either arming the Bashano or he's arming a resistance, or like a group of people in the Bashano side to try and claim it.
Were I to arm the Erhard side, I would arm them on the Erhard side.
But they won't-
and then have them go over to watch the fight.
But you're not allowed to bring weapons over into the area.
On the bridge? The bridge
That's
is
correct.
neutral.
No, however, if you cross from one side to the other, the guards on the bridge actually confiscate any weapons.
But if you smuggle them over in barrels
Yeah, yeah.
and crates,
Yeah.
then
Interesting point then.
But
Fourth.
it was George who wanted to move the fight to the bridge. That was his idea, and if the whole plan was to use the fight as a cover to bring Urhat fighters into Bashano and arm them, if the fight is on the bridge, no one crosses into Bashano side.
Is that not already done though? I mean, one way or the other, it does not explain why Jacques was targeted. He was definitely had a knife thrown at him. Why?
Maybe they made a mistake.
it could have just been reactionary. The man was running away. He could have
I don't know if it would have been with these
This
guys.
person sounds very, very accurate. You describe it to me as you slid the knife between the
Oh,
ribs.
sure, but-
This is not someone who throws a knife at a person without intending to kill them unless they wanted to kill them. In which case, why the knife in the
to stop him from running,
And
to
throws
get
a knife.
the guards in.
And throwing a knife with specific intent as
I
well.
suppose,
like-
but you still, if their goal was to get Earhart people into Bashano's side, then they want the fight to happen. So hurting one of the fighters, it's not going to make that happen.
But the assassins could very well not be Earhart. They could be trying to stop the Earhart.
Maybe you're right. Maybe we are looking at this in the wrong sort of way. Maybe Dupree was on the opposite side to the assassins, as in Dupree was trying to achieve one thing with riling up possibly some violence, and the assassins were sent by someone who was trying to stop it all. And we've all just been
I
caught
mean, the
in.
fight would definitely be off if George died. If George was killed, I would not fight. And I have a sneaking suspicion Jacques feels maybe the same way, even if he doesn't let it on. Either way, what I'd like is, if possible, a copy of this map. Because I'm going to take it with me when I go see the captain.
And what are we going to say when the captain asks you where you got it?
You don't need to say anything.
What are you going to say when you ask where you got it?
I found it. The assassin left it. I don't know. You won't be bought into it.
That was very,
Well, an
that was very
assassin
sweet. I found it.
An assassin did come to your house.
Yes, I know.
Oh, and I'll
So
just drop
it's fairly possible that they dropped something. The
I can
police
be
will never
given
know.
information without, having to say where I got the information from. I'm not going to implicate any of you in any way unless you want to be
It's
implicated.
up to you, but I'm just going to say if I was a police person and someone came to me, I would immediately arrest you.
That's perfectly fine, because I'm not a criminal.
May I ask a question about the gold ingots?
Sure.
Do they have any pictures on them? Is it just a gold bar pressed?
It's a gold bar pressed.
It's got no
visible markings.
signifiers, or it's just a big lump of gold.
Pretty much.
Okay, I don't need to share that information then. That's cool.
Just keeping that in my pocket.
How much would it be worth out of curiosity?
You'd have to get that professionally evaluated.
And the ingots are like an ingot is a fairly sizable chunk.
No, they're only the smaller size ingots.
Oh, okay, so
yeah.
it's this. But
Ingots.
still, like weight-wise, how heavy?
Ingots are about £10.
Yeah.
Just pointing out, gold's good for bribes.
Gold is good, and a big ingot is excellent for bribes. I'm just wondering, I'm trying to get Skairn, he may not be able to value it perfectly, but he would have a fair idea.
It's worth a lot, but you don't know exactly how much
So
you're
you'd
going
be
to get
thinking
for
at
it.
least 100 gold.
Put it this way, you would definitely need to get that professionally evaluated, but you're pretty confident you've got payday here.
Yeah. So my question, he's 9,000 or 900?
9,000.
9,000 in debt. And I'm just but he had 3 gold ingots. But I don't need to share that information. That is not pertinent to this particular
If you want to, you can. If you
I don't
you
think
have
it's pertinent to this particular
I'm
argument.
going to start sort of rough map.
You feel free.
Drawing up that map.
Something else is bothering me about this situation. Where is Dupree? So you said his bed was unslept in, dinner untouched, or...
And the assassin had not had any luck because
So he
the assassin
knew.
thought it was me. So
he knew. He
It
must have
wouldn't
known.
surprise me if he had a second hideaway.
had Denner left all his documents in one place?
Ugh.
Did you look under the bed?
Left
He
in
sounds
hurry.
like the sort of man that would hide under the bed.
I feel like the assassin is the sort of person who would have looked under the bed. When the assassin, when a person who was clearly there with deadly intent leaves, I feel like what they're looking for is either done or not there.
I mean, they didn't look under the beds for Gorgeous George.
This person was not in a hurry. I arrived. I don't know how long they were there, in fairness, yeah, but I arrived. It's a small room. There's only so many places you could hide. It's fairly bare. There's only like 3 places one could hide. Bed would be one of the places I would have looked. The bathroom I did not look in exactly, but no, my feeling is the assassin would have looked even if I had not.
Agreed. So Dupree left in a hurry, left all his stuff there. So he
Did
knew
not
someone...
have the look of a place that had been left in a hurry. It had a look of the place that was
If he
left, but looking to come back to.
So where is he now?
But yeah, I'm jotting down this map.
Yeah, sure.
Sort of making sure to get the emblems in the right
Folding
spots.
up the ledger and the letters and putting them back in my coat.
Sure. And yeah, then when I get a good enough copy, I'm going to fold it up, put it in, well, like,
No problem.
my pocket. So I head off. Where did Gorgeous George head off to as well?
Gorgeous George dropped you off at the little townhouse he had, and then buggered off to wherever he lives, because he doesn't actually sleep with you.
So would George's home be on the way? Do I know where he's...
Yes, you do. It's about a 10-minute walk away from where you currently are. Minute by coach ride, but still. You make your way there at a brisk pace, and when you arrive, you see the coach still parked outside with one of the guards, and you make your way inside and find George packing a suitcase in his room, swaying a little bit with a bottle clutched in his hand.
I'd be drunk too in his position.
Champ, it's good to see you. What do you want?
We need to
How can I
go
help?
to the central station. I've got some information on
the assassins.
Charlie, you're my man, but why do we have to pursue this? This has nothing to do with us. Let's just do what we do good, which is punching people.
I got information that you were one of the specific targets in a different location. My home.
What are you talking about? You're saying I'm a target?
Were a specific target. Someone showed up in my home while my friends were there looking for you in particular.
All right, if you think this is serious, I'll come with you,
I
but...
would prefer to have you with me just in case and to keep you abreast of the situation.
I have to say, I'm moved, champ. I mean, this is a big thing you're doing for me. Look, I'll come with you, but look, let me get changed, all right?
I'll go in with him.
Yeah,
Sure. Sure.
He gonna
So
be
you can
murdered.
see the white person kill him.
Okay, so you walk inside. The first thing you notice is this is much better accommodation than you were in. And he disappears into another room, and he goes, let me let my manservant make you like some tea or something. Is that good for you, champ?
That won't be necessary. I am in quite a hurry. Plus, I have just eaten. So if we
All right, then. There's no problem. Let me just get changed. I've been having a few drinks. A few minutes later, he reappears.
Yep.
And he's actually dressed in really nice. I suppose you could describe it as tuxedo wear or something similar. And you leave the mats and you go into your carriage and disappear off to the Bachonneau's fortress.
Yes.
Were you guys, everyone other than Charlie, doing something more during this period? Or are you good?
I've got nothing.
You've also got a contract to sing and dance.
That's true. Like I've got a gig later tonight, but until then I've got no idea what to do.
It's about 4 p.m. in the afternoon.
Yeah. So like, I'm just gonna rest.
Anyone want to take it in turns sleeping? Because I sure as shit ain't sleeping in a room alone. Unless there's something else we should be doing. Well, we could go look for Dupree.
Well, I was going to suggest it, but even if we find him, then he's not necessarily going to know anything. Like, he might know...
Also, I may have robbed him blind.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't matter.
I think it might to him. And I don't feel bad about sharing this information with you. There was also 3 ingots of gold. What?
Whoa.
Nice.
I know, danke schön. And you'd like this particularly. So there was an empty, there was a chest full of clothes.
Yeah?
False bottom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
What kind of lock? Did you have to do any kind of, like,
yeah,
codes
just
or...
I press the sides.
sides.
And it comes out.
Yeah, right.
Nice
I mean, it's
thing.
not like cutting edge, but that's
It was
pretty advanced.
You know
Nice.
what? I'm not.
No, not talking about you. I
I'm
thought
not a
he would,
thief.
for
Yeah.
gold ingots, I thought he'd get something, but
yeah,
nice
no,
figuring out.
these ones, and I take one out, show them, put it back in pocket. But it's like, yeah, look, we'll get them assessed later and figure out exactly what they're worth. I feel like you guys need a cut on this one as well. You guys got
it's
pretty
very kind
robbed
of you.
blind on this. But yeah, so we'll deal with that later. But for now, it's interesting that he had 3 of them, and I have only a vague idea how much they are worth. These are heavy.
As you produce the ingots, Prosh looks at them and hisses at everyone else in the room. And is very, very protective of you.
Nine, good boy.
I feel like I probably know how much stuff is worth.
Yeah?
Like, either know if I
what do you
roll
reckon?
or...
Black market price, do me an intelligence check. You should be fine.
20.
20 total?
Yep.
These are worth somewhere in the vicinity of 10,000 ducats each.
Fucking.
So how much did you say he was in debt?
Oh, 9,000.
So he was fine.
Yeah.
In terms of
Stingy
debt.
bastard.
Yeah. Well, now we were okay.
I'm surprised he didn't have more.
Yeah, look, I tell you what.
To guard that.
We need to, well, yeah.
No, you just keep them with
I
you.
got
for
it.
now. Yeah.
Don't worry. I got it, good boy. Good boy. Yeah,
Is he gonna...
He probably will.
It's okay,
I'll put it
Ross.
away. I'll put it away.
Calm down, Ross. I'm just like gently do like calming motions.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Yes, so with the revelation that you have quite a lot of money there, at least what you could probably value it at a black market price for, we're going to go back to Charlie on his journey to go speak to Captain Amelie. Okay, Charlie, the carriage has taken you to the fortress of the Bachonneau, and you are greeted by a phalanx of guards who are milling about the main entrance
The fortress itself is 3 concentric circles, with the central fortress playing home to the large trebuchet that is visible from pretty much every point of Arim. Even now, looking up, it is incredibly large, like impractically large. So you are bussed through because of your esteemed status. However, just outside of Emily's office, George takes you aside and goes, listen, champ, this conversation you're going to have, that's between you and her. I mean, like, you know how I am about, any kind of cop, really. So I'm just gonna sit here. And he goes over to a small stool that's been set aside. It's probably for vases or something. And he just sort of like perches on top of it and gestures for you to go ahead without him. So you open the door and find yourself in front of Captain Emily, who does not look much worse for wear since last time you saw her. She has since replaced her cloak, but you are bustled into her office, which is a lovely office on the 2nd story, which actually overlooks most of the commercial district. You can see the square that you were training with Jacques in earlier. And also you can see from this vantage point the dockyards. Through barred windows, I should add. She's sitting at a lovely oak desk, which is very ornate, and has a suit of armor sitting on a rack. She's in civilian clothes at this point. Well, as close to civilian as you can in an official capacity. And she looks up and goes, Monsieur Roughhouse. Pleasure to see you again.
Captain, and he sort of nods. So I've come across a bit more information on this assassin. Apparently, while we were being attacked, there was 2 more cases of different assassins in both my abode looking for George and also in the abode of a gentleman by the name of DuPont, I believe. I don't know the man. They were specifically after George, and also I came by this map, which this isn't the original, but it seems to be a detailed map of the Bashano side.
She immediately stands up and crosses the room to you and takes the parchment from you.
Yep.
And looks at it quite intently and goes, "Mon Dieu, this is... Well, if this information is correct, this could pose quite the threat. I did not think that an Erhat such as yourself would volunteer such information.
It's honor. I'm not about to let some... And from the sounds of it, this DuPont man had this in his possession. So, I'm not about to let some piece of work sully our name, whatever it is that you see it as.
Well, I'm looking at this image and I already see a number of alarming images. Notably the circle with the line. This is a symbol of a well-known resistance movement that is seemingly placed in the slums. And she takes the picture from the map from you and starts studying it quite intently and goes, let us sit for a moment. And she gestures to the seat that's in front of her desk and just pats it very carefully. She sits on the side and goes,
As you are aware, the Bashano and the Erhat don't see eye to eye on things. This boxing match is an excellent way to settle our differences without shedding blood, and is important for the peace between our 2 peoples. I am worried about these assassins, though. This was not some random attack. If they were at your house as well as Jacques', then this is more than what I ever thought. Jacques can be protected, but you? And Erhat? I wish to offer you protection at my personal estate. There is a guest house and the grounds are protected around the clock. You need only agree. You and any you deem important may come along. This has been an highly irregular day, and I fear that I have failed in my duties, but I wish to promise you as a guest of our government, this city is safe and stable.
And as she says that, the docks explode.
Yep. That warehouse I was talking about earlier.
From the room you're all sharing, you hear a deafening explosion.
Well, that can't be good.
What the fuck was that?
Hrosh is actually moving between each of your shoulders and is making a keening sound. Like Duchess is also just not having a bar of it.
Oh,
It's absolute chaos out on the street. You see people who potentially could be Bashan, who could be Erhart. There is a bloody pell-mell between the lot of them because
They're fighting?
No, not at this point. They're sort of just either running to or running from the docks. There's quite a lot of confusion
The
happening.
closer we get, do people seem to be armed in any way?
Only with things like buckets of water.
Good. Grab buckets.
alrighty. I'm thinking we should maybe do something,
All
right?
right, I want to try my ice breath on the fire.
So your breath just erupts from your mouth. This cone of coal crashes into the blaze, shooting gouts of steam in all directions. You can feel moisture beading back on your scales as it vaporizes in the fire that is rapidly extinguished, with all but some of the flames remaining. Your ice breath has put out most of the inferno, but what fuel it had is now a sodden mess, and it's not likely to reignite. Even with your prodigious ability, though, the fire's already started to spread, and you can see more fire catching nearby.
All right, is there a bucket anywhere?
I'm going to go to the nearest injured person and pull them back towards the street. Away from
Agreed.
the fire, basically.
Sure.
I was going to say.
Maybe I don't know how good I am at emergency first aid or anything, but if they appear to be bleeding in any particular manner, I might try to tourniquet or staunch that. But
You get a +3.
is there any medical attention I could, if I roll a 14 plus 3 is 17, would I be able to help him in any meaningful way?
You'll be able to pull him away from the fire and to make sure that he's secure.
He's not going to die.
No.
I'm going to be honest, with a medical check in this situation, you're only going to be able to see whether or not someone is going to live or not from their injuries. There's not a whole lot you can do for burn victims. You don't have any kind of healing salve unless you know some magic, but I don't think
Okay, so I pull him away, make sure he's alive. So basically I perform triage, make sure that the one I'm going to save is savable, then save him.
I'm getting the people that you're too far away from and do something similar.
Sure.
We're like, oh, you're still alive? Yep, come on, we'll drag you, pop you over here.
So there's 3 fires, yes, and we're close
Roughly,
to
yeah.
1.
Yep.
How close are the other ones?
Pretty close.
And there are people all around them?
There are still a number of dock hands.
And it's all quite concentrated fire. It's not fire that's spread out a bit that I could say
It's spreading, but it's not spread yet. Because
How
of the
many
detonation.
smaller spot fires are there around? Because I can help with those. Yeah, I guess I go around casting prestidigitation on anything that's campfire and smaller sized,
Sure.
and start putting that out. And I'm looking for a way to get close enough to a fire, but not the bigger fires, but not have it hurt me, if that's at all possible.
Sure. So basically you're running around going,
It's more like I'm strumming a single note on my guitar and fires are puffing out. But yeah, I need to see if I can find a way to get close enough to be within about 15 feet of a large source of fire.
What do you plan to do when you get
I
there?
have an idea, but would I be able to get close enough,
absolutely.
like right up to it without it?
No, you
hurting me,
you wouldn't
or-
be able to get adjacent to it, but you could get close enough to do whatever you're doing. 15 foot is pretty close. You would definitely feel the heat. But
Okay. But like, I don't want to be within 50. I want to be within 15 feet to then.
you won't ignite if you get this close
Yeah,
to it.
that's cool.
You might get a sunburn.
Okay, so I'm gonna yell out to these two, keep doing what you're doing, but start getting everyone else away from that fire as well.
There's a number of people that immediately listen to a voice of authority and they start enacting what you're asking.
Yeah, cool. Get as close as I can and cast Thunderwave,
Okay.
because that pushes everything away in the sense that it would push all the oxygen out of the way, thus starving the fire.
And also all the burning cargo
And
into
all
the
dead
water.
bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead if you want to do it.
So, to push burning stuff out and to clear the oxygen away, because that's what a thunder wave is.
Okay, go ahead.
I am running it quite quickly. I'm not going to stand there and prepare. I run in, exactly, and keep running out because I don't want to be near fire. Fire is bad.
All right, yes. You do push successfully this burning cargo, 10 foot. It's pretty effective what you've done. However, the knock-on effect is, of course, that you've moved the rest of the cargo around you, and it's dispersed the fire as well.
But I'm assuming those bits are now smaller because it pushes us out.
Yes, however, they now are sort of around you.
Is there anything that's kind of campfire-sized? Any of these smaller bundles that I've now
Yeah, there's a number of them.
Cool. I cast Prestidigitation a bunch and put a whole bunch of them out.
While Nezor is doing this, which I'm sure you've both...
Taking some time, and I'm impressed by it. I was like, well done, Nezor!
Nice.
She expresses my feelings better than I.
So I can't do a big gout of ice breath again, but could I do like some little puffs of ice breath, maybe?
That's fine, yeah. How do you represent that through mechanics? Let's say it's a dexterity because you're trying to put out a fire.
15.
15? Yep, you've got no problem. You're controlling your little spot fire absolutely fine. It's about at this time, Abella, you would notice this more than anyone else because you're furthest away, that a cart with what appears to be a number of barrels hooked into like a hand pump appear. And some official-looking elves hop down and start running flaxen hose towards the fire and start pumping away, and water starts spraying from the nozzles.
Guys, look.
Hey, baby. I mean...
This fire isn't being put out.
They are fire elves.
It's like, that fire's been put out, but another one's just been lit.
No, it's a federal offence to...
Pull the sexy face
Go
up.
up.
Oh, don't do that. I think we
Are there any attractive...
One of them sprays you in the face with
Are there any attractive lady firefighters?
No, unfortunately, it's an all-man crew at this
Rhyland's
point.
not
Damn it, I'm busy beating out a fire looking badass.
Rhyland's
Put
busy
down-
beating it out.
I'll
And
put down the person I'm helping. Like, go up to them. Can I help?
did they appear to be running towards her in slow motion?
Yes. It's
I
very,
am
very
breathing heavily.
It's been a while,
Just
hasn't it?
heaving.
Yeah. They're like,
I feel like your fireman carrying a civilian to safety. The fire's that way. Yeah, I
one
can
of-
see that.
one of them shouts out to you as,
Oh, yes, I'm
are you okay,
fine. Thank you.
Yeah, you're fine.
one of them stops and goes, I don't know, madam, I think the fire is here. And then he gets pulled away by the hose.
What did you do?
He gets pulled away by the hose team. Like, he stops and the rest of them keep going and then he gets pulled along.
The hose pull him along. Okay.
Give me your phone number.
We don't have
How
phones
do
here.
I find you?
But no, they rush in and start spraying water everywhere.
It's a metaphor.
Oh dear, I think you've broken me.
I guess got weird.
Okay.
I mean, I can stop beating things off.
Out.
Yes.
Out.
You can, but however, back at the Passionho Fortress, the captain has stormed out with you and Tail.
Oh, did she put her armour on?
No, she's just stormed out.
Okay. I'll follow her.
Yeah. George, who has been waiting in the little area outside her office, the foyer, George is now in tow with you.
Yep.
She's shouting, barking orders at people to send fire teams down to make sure that the dock is controlled.
Before we left, I would, like, once she popped, did she, like, secure that map I gave her?
No, she just left it on the
I
desk.
would grab it.
Sure.
Like, grab it and in like, the pocket.
Sure.
Like, yeah.
No worries.
And yeah, I'll follow out after her.
Sure. She has an entire phalanx of guards at this point and has been, like I said, shouting orders left, right, and centre in Bashano, which all equate to effectively send men down to take care of this fire. You are brought down to the courtyard where she immediately summons a carriage and says, "This will be for you. I will take you. It will take you to safety."
I'll bring that map out again and like go, maybe these are other targets. Don't lose this. Don't let people see it. These could be other targets.
And she takes it and goes, "Thank you." And she gives you a quick peck on the cheek, which seems very it's a formality rather than anything else.
And I would understand what the Bashano male response would be, like, you know, because Erhardt bow and whatnot. I would offer the same, like, their traditional gentleman greeting, like, sort of thing, whatever it is, and I'll say, like, if you need anything extra from me, you know where I'll be.
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course. George is tugging at your... well, don't even say your shirt.
Please, coat.
No, I was going to say at your side. It's not even your shirt.
My suspenders.
A roll of
Yeah,
flesh.
it's like,
Hell.
Yeah, I don't have a shirt on
Yeah.
the whole time. He wears, like, strongman pants with suspenders.
Nice.
No shirt. Fantastic.
I'm amazed Abella got a whole sentence in then, really.
When things get serious, the
He
suspenders...
takes his shirt off.
No, the suspenders, like,
What's your armor class?
19.
Nothing. the suspenders are made of mithril.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Me and my mithril suspenders.
I only get 18. I'm wearing fucking chainmail.
Monks get, when they're not wearing armor of any variety, they get their constitution and dexterity for AC. So I have an AC of 19.
so the coachman is like, where do you want to go, monsieur? He looks very drunk.
I'm going to... I look at George, I'm like, do you think it'll be safe if we take you back home?
At this point, champ, I don't think I will be safe here at all. I think we make our straight line for Erhardt and we forget this whole friggin' thing.
I will happily take you to the Erhardt side, but I have friends on this side.
Don't go throwing your life away. You got so much to live for.
George.
So much money to make.
I'm going to be fine.
George just stops for a moment, locks eyes with you, Charlie, and there is just this quiet.
Don't you
moment
die on
between
me,
the
you
two
son of a
you,
bitch.
and then he says,
See you in a few hours.
Driver!
take the champ to the nearest fire.
The fire is somewhat controlled now. And the
Maybe thanks to Nezor.
mainly thanks to
And the fire elves.
Rhylind helped.
and the fire
And Rhylind helped.
and Rhylind.
Rhylind helped. Skairn only helped a bit.
He
Yeah.
saved some people. That's good enough.
Rosh was actually probably lighting a few more fires. He thought those ones.
Frosh is like
This is great!
yeah.
Day ever.
I'm imagining a little dragon just flying around all the flames.
No, he's hopping from one shoulder to the other, whichever is closest to the fire, and he's snapping at it.
Looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to eat it.
Squirrel.
Yes, they are.
This is.
They
Abella
are.
is so happy.
Take your shirt off.
They don't have shirts on.
They wouldn't have.
They
It's too
should-
hot.
yeah.
To work, you know.
They are dressed very much like Charlie is dressed, pretty much just suspenders and shorts.
Speaking of,
Speaking of,
Look, it's a team of monks with armor class 19. They're fine.
yeah,
just fire like pouring off the wet water.
basically, yeah.
How did you get those
Charlie
wings
would
of
just-
blades? I don't know. It's just a wizard thing.
Charlie would just sort of run in and help if he sees a person like hobbling or whatnot.
Well, the first person you see is actually Abella, who is apparently drooling at fire elves.
Oh,
What? Oh, yeah, fine. Yeah, good.
where are the others?
Oh, it's on there somewhere.
Some are on fire. It's fine.
That's all right.
Why there are a certain amount of male elves who are pumping water. Like they're on the thing.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I'll run over to where some other people are, even if it's like
Son of an Arid.
moving the dead
Yeah.
sort of thing. I'll run over and start moving more people away and helping.
That's probably where he would encounter me. Ah, Dr. Schoen, you finally rock up. How are you?
I'm.
Any luck with your meeting with the commander?
There was until this happened.
I know. Any thoughts?
Let's discuss this once these people are safe and not on fire.
These guys are mainly dead, mate.
They are.
It's fine. He's still gonna sort of.
I respect you. I respect you for this. Yeah.
He's gonna start pulling people away and like.
To my knowledge, we're all good. I feel like you're the sort of person who would care. I'm saying this over the noise of the flames. I'm feeling like you've seen Abella, Rhylind and Nezor also good. Nezor surprisingly good at putting out fire. Rhylind surprisingly not that great.
You see?
I certainly feel like I should have put out the fire.
Yeah, Charlie will sort of like, these two people are dead, sort of shoulder, pick up a couple of them on his shoulders and sort of lay them down, arms crossed,
to make me feel inadequate.
eyes closed, sort of.
I've put my slightly charred cloak back on, and now also helping with the.
There, a number of other civilians have actually started pitching in and have started moving like cargo out of the way of the flames, trying to create a barrier between the...
A fire break.
Yeah, a fire break, if you will. However, what seems to have happened is the flame has now started to actually catch light on a number of the ships that are actually in port.
And the dock itself.
The dock itself is actually on... Yeah. It's there. It's better because it's not heading towards the city, but it's worse because more things are on fire.
That's fine. The things that are on fire are on the water, so they can
They'll put themselves out. But the thing is, they could drift.
Is there any people on the ships that are catching on fire?
Not that you can see.
They've got an easy egress anyway. Like, anybody who's on a ship could probably swim, so they just jump off the side. They're fine. My worry is that a ship, like the fire eats away at the lines holding the ship then comes unstuck, drifts, and then sets fire to other bits of the city. Yeah. But, that's a long-winded thing that we need not necessarily concern ourselves with ourselves, given that there are fire elves on the scene. They would know this. They would be aiming for the ships first.
Very masculine fire elves.
Have the fire elves noticed that the fire's kind of coming onto the dock a bit?
Yes, it started on the docks.
It started on the docks, but they're mostly worried about it not burning down the Bashano side. They don't really care about the air hut. It could burn and they'd be happy.
But the air hut side would be aware of that anyway, so there'd probably be fire, not elves, on the other side.
Yeah, well, on the other side of the river, you can actually see that there is a number of people sort of
watching.
Well, yes, and also a number of people also prepping on the other side. Yeah. And you can hear bells actually tolling.
How wide is the river?
It's a good distance, probably at least 100 meters. Well, not 100 meters, 1,000 meters, probably.
Oh, Jesus, that's a kilometer. That's all.
Well, I don't know. How would you say it?
Well, how big's the Swan River?
I go with 200 meters as a fairly wide river.
It's average size.
100 meters that's good for me. I'm down with that. Yeah.
Put it this way:
the draft on a ship of that time would be maybe 5 or 6 meters. So
put it this way: you could fit at least.
You'll run up that. No easy.
Put it this way: you could fit at least 3 ships abreast.
Yeah,
easily, including like sails. And, and all that.
They're surprisingly small.
Yeah.
Those things.
I've been on
remarkably small. Like you'd think they'd be much bigger, but it's a width of 12 meters. Is what?
Yeah.
They're like. Yeah.
And we navigated the Earth with these.
Yeah, I know, right? This was like these could fit 150 people on them. What the fuck? How?
Hundreds of people died of scurvy.
Yeah,
but that's because they
didn't fit 150 people's worth of limes on this thing. How could you? Yeah. No, it's pretty incredible what people put up with for these tiny fucking ships.
So the fire elves, how are they refilling their barrels and whatnot?
They're not.
Into the water?
No, they are running out of water and then replacing it with another cart.
So if they've got a cart, I will try and I'll say to them, I'll get this one refilled. And sort of try and take it to the water's edge or whatever, away from the fire to.
Wait, so you're grabbing the cart?
No, I'm going to explain it to them. I'm going to say, I'll get this refilled.
The cart's pulled by horses?
Yes.
Horses freak out in fire.
They do. They're not happy, but they're tolerating
I'll
it.
say, I'll get this refilled in the river if you want.
Of course, do what you need. We need more water.
Yeah, so, I will then take one of the carts, the empty cart, over and start getting it refilled.
Leading the horse, yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
While Charlie is doing that, what are you doing, Rhylind, and what are you doing, Nezor? Are you working together? I assume you're quite close.
I'm just constantly putting out any spot fires that are small enough that my magic can handle.
I've stopped trying to put the fire out because apparently I'm useless.
You're not useless, you're trying.
I did this great gout of ice breath. I didn't even put the fucking fire out.
You ran out, and you're done now. So
it's also a fire the size of a warehouse, and you get to. It's
I know. I just like to think I'm more powerful. What can I say? So I'm just helping with the body removal because I can carry 2 at once.
The dead, not the dead necessarily. You're looking for the not dead.
The not dead.
I have begun doing the same thing, but in a very posturing sort of
Sexy way?
Oh, this poor person. I'm going to... So, and in clear view of the fire elves.
They,
Whoever
unfortunately, are not paying attention at this point.
I will continue to hope.
Like, hey, look!
I wouldn't be overly shocked knowing Abella that she was like, oh, no, I'm hurt. Oh, I'm on fire.
Don't
and
give her
shit."
ideas.
Yeah, I have nothing else to add. I'm just doing it in a very...
You're just saving people as sexily
I
as
was
you
just
can.
setting my cape on fire. I'm out of ice breath. I'm just helping with the
Sure.
Do we think this is going to be handled now that the fire elves are here, as long as they can get more water? Or
I'm not leaving.
It's far more controlled than it was.
yeah.
It's less chaotic. People seem to have worked out what's happening in that there's a fire at the dock and they are actively moving, like I said, creating a fire break. They're isolating this thing. Fire is obviously a big deal in a city because if something catches fire, it spreads quickly and then everyone dies. So...
Oh, no, the Vashno are dying.
When I get like this cart back, I would see if there was someone around who, instead of just going, oh, there's one here for you, do you want me to fit, like, start trying to operate it? So if there's people around, like, get them on pump in and just...
There are a number of civilians all working on this thing.
Cool.
So, yeah.
So we'll form our own not-elf fire team.
Not as good.
Good, but not as good.
I mean, you're
Take your
fine.
shirts off, then you'll be great.
Like, you're fine. Like, you're putting out the fire. That's pretty good. But
Charlie's got his shirt off.
yeah.
Charlie does have a shirt on.
She's been
Frankly,
desensitized to
I'm
that.
actually a little bit disappointed in your not hitting on
I think
him.
I'm an elf girl. Like, it's
Okay, well, you are an elf girl.
It's all about
I
the
am,
elves.
yes. It's all about them elves.
Even me, like with
No,
I'm a
humans.
mudblood by her standards. You probably...
That works quite well, actually.
But yeah, so I'll be,
I think it's now, like, specifically fire elves are the thing. Anyway, though, let's not go further into that.
You're not a subset of elves. They're just elves have a job
Isn't
putting
that
out
a
fire.
Chinese zodiac thing? I was born in the year of the elf.
Specifically the fire elf.
so yeah.
Charlie, you're on the pumps and you're helping it.
And Duchess has found a smouldering squeaky toy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
She's helping.
down by your leg going, The captain has shown up and is starting to direct the fire crews in a more organised manner. Charlie's helping with that.
Skairn is going to have a look for the ship that we came in on specifically.
Sure.
This occurs to him.
To get there, you'll have to go through the areas that are actually on fire.
Like navigate
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. So let's call that... Let's say it's a constitution check to get through the fire.
Okay, what's...
Whatever your con mod is.
+2. 20.
20? Nice little roll. Yeah, so you leap through a line of fire.
Jump through the flames, and then as I land, I collect myself and shake my long hair out, and then my dragon flies through the flames behind me and chirrups once and then perches himself on my shoulder, and then we look around for anyone who might be impressed by that.
There is no one there.
It doesn't matter.
Other side of the wall of flames.
We now look for the ship that we are looking for.
The Joy?
Yeah.
The Joy doesn't appear to be at more.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
After a number of hours fighting this fire, it is successfully extinguished and contained, and the smouldering wrecks of the port somewhat destroyed, but still intact. You are all hailed as heroes along with everyone else who was involved in saving the city. They've started bringing out meals to the people who are involved in the fight, and water and that sort of stuff. No wine or anything. It's more just to make sure that you're all hydrated.
Are we all sexily smeared with soot? And...
Yes, you are all very, very sooty at this point.
But sexily.
Yeah.
Wow.
The fire elves particularly.
No, I just got my scales cleaned.
Captain Emily walks up to the five of you who have sort of assembled together in a small group and, wiping sweat from her brow and soot, goes,
Thank you so much. I don't think that we could have controlled this blaze without your quick thinking and action. You have my thanks, my city's thanks, and my
So
government's
she
thanks.
recognizes us six. Oh,
No,
five.
she just came over. She's thanking all the different groups.
But we are with you.
Correct.
She knows you only.
Correct. But she's thanking all of the citizens.
No, she has come over and thanked you. You've seen her do the same thing with other people. However, she's taken special time because you're associated with Charlie.
Okay.
So she doesn't recognise any of you?
No. Even Rhylind? She's met Rhylind.
No, Rhylind was gone before she rocked up.
So the only reason she acknowledges us specifically is because of Charlie. Okay.
I'm assuming she noticed us doing.
Well, amazing, cool shit, particularly him.
That ice breath I did that one.
It was awesome, yeah.
Fortunately,
She wasn't there.
She wasn't there.
I'm sure I heard it. Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I hope your work has not been interrupted too much.
I think it is interrupted for the interim, yeah.
I must admit, so do I. And she chuckles herself.
So you must be aware that Mr. Roughhouse has told me, of course, about your unique situation with our mutual friends, the women in white. I have extended to him an offer to stay at my secure compound. It would be an honor to host you all until such time as you need to move on. You have saved countless lives with your behavior here, especially this young one here.
And she kneels down to Nezor, takes his hand and kisses it, and goes,
You are the hero of the upper. If you had not removed the large pile of burning detritus when you did, I struggle to think how we could have got this blaze under control.
Can't say I do it
Thank
often,
you.
but it seemed.
He's a good man
Right.
in my experience.
She actually scratches the side of her head and then actually unclasps the prosthetic from her ear, revealing something that's absolutely mangled, and just scratches it a little bit. Like, she's very unkempt at this point. Like, there's soot all over her, and reattaches it shortly after and goes,
Well, if there's nothing else, I must unfortunately return to my duties, but you have all shown out of college, so if you are ever in need of employment, please come to the Bashino Fortress, and I will, of course, peruse your application and perhaps put you into a position in the guard. Otherwise, I can arrange some sort of reward for your activities here. We do have a fund for such things.
We didn't do this for money.
Oh, of course, but it would be a shame not to, of course, reward you for your work.
I do appreciate that, but it's the honour of helping is more than enough. And I would offer like my hanky, like I've got a emboss hanky for face as well, like
embroidered, yeah.
yeah, like
Oh, thank you, monsieur. And she dabs at her eyes and clears the soot.
No, I would support my friend Charlie here. This is not required. 3 gold ingots.
yeah. I was
Oh,
gonna say,
right.
it's-
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. We're filthy fucking rich.
Don't fleece the person
never
who doesn't
mind,
need to
it's
be
fine.
fleeced.
Surely that money would be better spent repairing the docks.
Yes,
Thank
did
you.
it out of the good of our hearts. Where are the fire elves, by the way?
They're nearby, they're
Don't
washing.
know, if you do know where they station their horses, I don't know, for example, my friend here might appreciate that knowledge. She's keen on the fire elves.
Oh, she snaps
Sorry,
out.
diplomacy is not my strong suit.
Of course, she snaps out a line of Bashano, which basically equates to you, the ones that have been working, come here.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, she's good. She's good. They like a powerful woman. Play it up.
A number of the fire elves come over.
You've
They're
actually
all-
gone pink. You're actually blushing.
I've been quite a few times through this recording.
So they wander over and they see it because, again, in Bashano, she realizes this one here is quite keen on you. Make her feel welcome.
If you do that, I don't need to pay her.
They just look nonplussed, to be quite honest.
Good job out there today, guys. Would you like to come to our inn for some chicken?
They kind of look at each other a bit confused, and one of them just pipes up and goes,
No.
Is this a euphemism for something?
Also possibly, but mainly no.
They look very confused.
Possibly, but also that would be sausage. So yeah.
Well, not from me.
So with a number of half-naked firemen elves.
Yes.
While they're doing all that weird shit, Charlie's gonna go wash himself with some of the water left in one of them.
Charlie.
I'm just leaving
Like,
uncomfortably.
Charlie's gonna pump the thing a bit and like hose himself down.
Abella, look, he's hosing himself down.
Skairn is reveling in how uncomfortable the rest of them appear to be. Skairn finds this hilarious.
So does Frosh, but he does not quite sure why.
He's just sort of circling me.
The other firemen elves join.
Abella.
No, join Charlie in washing down.
Bathing themselves.
And
Hey, Jens, do you reckon you could point a hose in my direction? And that is not a double entendre.
I'm not even...
Absolutely. Like,
one of them does and just squirts you in the face.
Thank you. I meant the chest, but the head'll do. I kind of clean a bit of the
Charlie,
milk off myself.
same over here as well, please. Again, not the face.
we could just all come over here where we are.
Let's do that.
baby.
I'm going to
Just
say...
point it in the air.
Yes, pretty much what's going on is it's pumped and.
The mental image, I have to say, of like 3 half-naked elves, an elvish commander, and then you guys all fucking getting wet
I'm going to be
together.
honest, actually, Skairn would probably just take a dip in the river.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this episode of There Be Dragons. If you'd like to know more about the show, feel free to check us out at therebedragonscast.com for lore, cast information, and updates on our schedule. You can also find us at therebedragons.podbean.com and on Spotify for your listening needs. If Twitter is more your thing, you can also find us at TBDragonsCast. I am Matthew, your Dungeon Master, and Skairn Fellspar Thuferson is played by Joshua Walker. Rhylind Westfall is played by Keren Schlink. Charlie Roughhouse was played by Tristan Doust. Abella DeRosier is played by Angela Donlan. And finally, Nezor Valghoorlis is played by Tom Moore, who also acts as our sound recordist. There Be Dragons' original theme and scores are composed by award-winning composer Sean Tinian. You can see more of his work at seantinianmusic.com. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time.